Hello and thank you for tuning into News Today, where we break down the day's top stories with precision and clarity. Without delay, let's explore the headlines first. Nepal has decided to introduce a new currency note featuring Indian territories. Online radicalisation continues to pose a significant challenge to global security. This has been highlighted by India at the 19th Interpol Conference of Heads of National Central Bureau. Elected women representatives of Panchayat Raj institutions participated in localizing the SDGs. Women in local governments in India lead the way event. The Supreme Court of India has directed 33% reservation for women in Supreme Court Bar Association post. The 45-day payment rule creates hurdles for MSMEs. A study conducted by researchers from State Health Resource Centre in Chhattisgarh has analysed the implementation of Pradhan Mantri Arogya Yojana. Let us begin with the first news for the day. Nepal has decided to introduce a new currency note featuring Indian territories. The Nepali cabinet has recently approved the printing of new denominations of 100 Nepalese currency featuring a map that includes the Indian territories of Limpiadhura, Lipulekh and Kalapani. This decision comes on the heels of a previous development in the year 2020 when Nepal passed its second constitutional amendment bill, providing legal status to its claim over these territories. The Kalapani region in particular is the largest territorial dispute between Nepal and India and is a tri-junction between India, Nepal and Tibet that is in China. To understand the origin of this dispute, we need to delve into the Treaty of Saguali. Signed in the year 1816 between the British East India Company and then Nepali Gurkha rulers. This treaty demarcated the boundaries between Uttarakhand's Kumaon region and Nepal, with the river Kali serving as the boundary between the two countries. However, the key to the disagreement lies in the origin of the river Kali itself. Nepal considers the river that flows to the west of Kalapani as the main river Kali, originating at either Limpiadhura or the nearly Lipulekh Pass. Based on this stance, Nepal justifies the area as an inherent part of its territory. On the other hand, India argues that the river Kali originates from a small rivulet named Pankhagad, lying on the southern portion of Kalapani with the subsequent ridge on the eastern part of this area being the true border. India's stand on this dispute is clear. It maintains that all three territories, Limpiadhura, Lipulekh and Kalapani, belong to India and has termed Nepal's constitutional amendment as a unilateral act, an artificial enlargement and untenable. As the dispute continues to simmer, the introduction of the new Nepalese currency note featuring these contested territories has only added fuel to the fire, further straining the already tense relations between the two neighbouring countries.
Ahead in the news, online radicalisation continues to pose a significant challenge to global security. This has been highlighted by India at the 19th Interpol Conference of Heads of National Central Bureau. Radicalisation, the process where individuals or groups embrace radical ideologies that accept or condone violence, including acts of terrorism, to reach specific political or ideological purposes. Internet platforms and social media have been exploited by terrorists as an effective tool. These online spaces have been exploited by terrorists for radicalisation, indoctrination, recruitment, and even terror financing. Social media acts as an echo chamber, amplifying propaganda, disinformation, conspiracy theories, hate speech, and incitements of violence. The recent Kozhikode arson case underscores how online radicalisation can trigger real-world violence. Beyond fueling extremism, the internet's role in challenging national security extends to enabling terror fundraising campaigns that are difficult to track due to virtual assets like cryptocurrencies. It also enables micro-targeting through data harvesting for psychological profiling to tailor radical content strategically. Moreover, it also contributes to a significant increase in cybercrimes and organized crimes such as human trafficking, drug smuggling, and money laundering. The anonymity associated with the internet, the rise of deepfakes, cross-border jurisdictional challenges, and privacy concerns pose hurdles in addressing these security threats. However, concerted efforts outlining a way forward are crucial. Targeted counter-narrative campaigns to debunk misinformation and disrupt online echo chambers, implementing robust content moderation and fact-checking mechanisms, fostering international cooperation among law enforcement, intelligence agencies and policymakers, as well as strengthening cybersecurity and regulating virtual assets are key steps required. At last, let's also discuss and know about the Interpol. The Interpol, or International Criminal Police Organization, established in 1923 and headquartered in Lyon, France, facilitates information exchange between 196 member countries, national police forces, including India. Its organizational structure includes a General Assembly, General Secretariat, Executive Committee, and National Central Bureaus. With the Central Bureau of Investigation as India's designated National Central Bureau for Interpol activities, the organization plays a pivotal role in addressing transnational security threats. Ahead in the news, elected women representatives of Panchayat Raj institutions participated in localizing the SDGs. Women in Local Governance in India Lead the Way event. Let's delve into the key takeaways from this impactful event. The event, held at UN headquarters, New York, highlighted the pivotal role of elected women representatives or EWRs in advancing the localization of Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs at the grassroots level. In India, more than 1.4 million EWRs constitute approximately 46% of total Panchayat Raj institutions representatives empowered by the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992, which reserved one-third of electoral seats in PRIs. However, 22 states and UTs have provided a 50% reservation for women. These EWRs have significantly improved development outcomes, ensuring better distribution of essential public goods and contributing to sustainable development at grassroots level. Moreover, they play a critical role in driving social change by prioritizing policies that promote equity and responsiveness within local communities. For instance, EWRs have contributed to reducing the total fertility rate and improving the median age of marriage for women, and also helped in deepening of democracy and promoting inclusive governance. However, despite their contributions, EWRs face several challenges rooted in cultural constraints and patriarchal norms. These challenges include undervaluation of contributions due to patriarchal social norms and stereotypes, proxy representation by male family members, and due to policy of rotation of reserved seats, EWR could not extend their learned experience. Apart from these, domestic and caregiving responsibilities, apprehensions about ability, and digital divide are some other concerns which further fosters the challenges. To address these challenges, various initiatives such as leadership and management development programs, capacity building programs for EWRs, and innovative projects like Drone Didi and Lakhpati Didi have been implemented. The localization of SDGs is crucial for translating global goals into local realities, aligning with national frameworks and community priorities. The SDGs, comprising 17 goals and 169 targets, provide a universal agenda adopted by the UN in 2015, driving both top-down and bottom-up actions for sustainable development. Also, localization relates both to how local governments can support SDGs achievement through bottom-up action, as well as how SDGs can provide a framework for local development policy.
Ahead in the news, the Supreme Court of India has directed 33% reservation for women in Supreme Court Bar Association posts. An order issued by a two-judge bench of the Supreme Court has mandated the implementation of this reservation, including the ensuing elections for the 2024-25 term. This decision holds immense significance as it may potentially increase the pool of women candidates eligible for the appointment as judges in the Supreme Court itself. Historically, the representation of women in the higher judiciary has been abysmally low, with only 11 out of 268 judges appointed in the Supreme Court since independence. Justice Fatima Bibi, who served the Supreme Court in 1989, was the first woman judge to grace the Supreme Court. The statistics paint a grim picture, with only 35% of women judges in subordinate courts and a mere 13% in high courts as per the India Justice Report 2022. Furthermore, a mere 15% of practicing lawyers in India are women. The reason for this inadequate representation of women in the judiciary are multifaceted, stemming from patriarchal societal norms that discourage women from pursuing legal professions, a lack of transparency in appointment processes, and the existence of a judicial glass ceiling, among others. However, the significance of better representation of women in the judiciary cannot be overstated. Greater gender diversity in the judiciary can foster gender sensitivity, leading to a more empathetic understanding of gender-related issues such as domestic violence, sexual harassment, and discrimination. Moreover, a diverse judiciary lends legitimacy and public confidence as it becomes more representative of the society it serves. Additionally, the presence of women in decision-making positions with the legal system can serve as role models and inspire more women to pursue careers in the legal profession. To address this issue, several initiatives and reports have been proposed. States like Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, and Karnataka have already implemented reservation policies for women in the lower judiciary. The Standing Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances and Law and Justice has recommended adding a provision related to ensuring an adequate number of women in the Memorandum of Procedure for the appointment of judges to the Supreme Court and High Courts. The Supreme Court's directive for 33% reservation for women in SCBA posed a significant step in the right direction, paving the way for a more inclusive and representative legal fraternity in India.
Ahead in the news, the 45-day payment rule creates hurdles for MSMEs. The recently introduced 45-day payment rule under the Finance Act 2023 has created unintended hurdles for India's MSMEs, a sector that forms the backbone of the nation's economy. The amendment to the Income Tax Act stipulates that any payments owed to MSMEs not resolved within 45 days will not qualify for tax deductions until the payment is made. This rule, applicable to transactions involving the purchase of goods or services from enterprises registered under the MSMED Act 2006, an amendment came into force on April 1, 2024. However, the well-intentioned measure has given rise to unintended consequences that threaten the very survival of many MSME entities. Large companies are cancelling orders to registered MSMEs and placing them with unregistered ones to circumvent the rule. Smaller MSME entities, in a bid to retain businesses, are opting to surrender their registrations. Some are even reclassifying themselves from manufacturing to trading entities to avoid the regulation's impact. Beyond the 45-day payment rule, MSMEs in India grapple with a multitude of challenges, including access to finance due to stringent lending norms, lack of collateral, and insufficient credit history. Infrastructure bottlenecks lead to higher operational costs and production delays, while complex and uncertain regulatory frameworks, including taxation and environmental regulations, increase compliance costs. Yet MSMEs remain crucial for employment generation, given their labor-intensive nature, contributing around 30% to India's GDP. They drive rural industrialization, balanced regional development, and export promotion, underscoring the need to address the unintended consequences of the 45-day payment rule. Further, if we talk about MSMEs, the categorization of MSMEs is based on specific parameters related to investment in plant and machinery and annual turnover. Micro-enterprises have an investment of less than or equal to 1 crore rupees in plant and machinery with an annual turnover of less than or equal to 5 crore rupees. Small enterprises fall within the investment range of less than or equal to 10 crore rupees for plant and machinery and have an annual turnover of less than or equal to 50 crore rupees. Medium enterprises are defined by an investment of less than or equal to 50 crore rupees in plant and machinery and an annual turnover of less than or equal to 250 crore rupees.
Moving on to the last news for the day, a study conducted by researchers from State Health Resource Centre in Chhattisgarh has analysed the implementation of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. The study revealed that patients incurred significant medical out-of-pocket expenditure when admitted to private hospitals empaneled under the scheme. This concerning trend was primarily attributed to the practice of dual billing, wherein private hospitals charged patients and also claimed reimbursement under the scheme. Now let's understand about the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana in more detail. Launched in the year 2018 as a component of the Ayushman Bharat scheme, it falls under the purview of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The scheme aims to provide hospital cover of Rs 5 lakhs per family per year for secondary and tertiary care across public and private empaneled hospitals. Notably, there is no restriction on family size, age or gender, making it inclusive and accessible to all. Furthermore, it covers up to 3 days of pre-hospitalization and 15 days of post-hospitalization expenses, ensuring comprehensive coverage. It also covers all pre-existing medical conditions, ensuring that no one is left behind due to their medical history. However, the implementation of the scheme also includes some challenges, such as capacity deficits in some states, where the number of empaneled healthcare providers is insufficient to cater to the high demand. Additionally, delays in claim settlements have been reported despite clear guidelines. Another concerning aspect is the lack of essential validation controls in beneficiary registration. The Comptroller and Auditor General report highlighted that more than 7 lakh beneficiaries were linked to a single mobile number, raising questions about data integrity and potential misuse. Moreover, the delayed disposal of grievances has been a significant issue, with the CAG reports revealing that only around 10% of registered grievances were addressed within the stipulated 15-day turnaround time. Furthermore, several states including Bihar, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan have not adopted the whistleblower policy. Despite these challenges, the need for a government-aided health insurance scheme like Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana cannot be overstated. It plays a crucial role in reducing out-of-pocket expenditure and offering financial protection to families, ensuring equitable access to healthcare facilities, and reducing the burden on public healthcare systems. To address the issues identified by the study and ensure the effective implementation of the scheme, it is essential for the government to take proactive measures. These include strengthening the validation controls, improving grievance redressal mechanisms, ensuring timely claim settlements, and promoting transparency and accountability at all levels of the scheme's implementation.
The personality news for today is Saint Vallabhacharya. Recently, 545th birth anniversary of renowned scholar and Saint Vallabhacharya was celebrated. Vallabhacharya was a Uttaradi Telang Brahmin born in Champaran in Raipur, Central Province. He was one of pioneers of Bhakti movement and contemporary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Talking about his contributions, he established Pushti Marg, the path towards the grace tradition, with Brahma Sutra, Srimad Bhagavad, and Gita as its literature. He also established Shuddha Advait or pure non-dualism school of thought based on Vedanta. His important literary works include Anubhashya on Brahma Sutra, Subodhani Vyakhya of Bhagavad, Siddhant Rahasya, Bhagavad Leela Rahasya, Ekant Rahasya, and Vishnupad. Through his actions, he exemplified the values of selfless service, devotion, social justice, and equality.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. Citing the misuse of Section 498A of the Indian Penal Code, the Supreme Court requested the Parliament to bring necessary changes in corresponding sections in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023. Court also observed that the Sections 85 and 86 of the BNS is a verbatim reproduction of the Section 498A. Bangalore-based company unveiled FWD-200B, India's first indigenous bomber unmanned aerial vehicle. FWD-200B is a medium-altitude, long-endurance unmanned aerial vehicle. The Government of India has announced the buyback of government securities worth Rs 40,000 crore. Buyback of securities entails the government opting to retire a portion of its outstanding debt before its scheduled maturity date. Tamil Nadu moved Supreme Court alleging that Kerala is obstructing in strengthening work of Mullaperiyar Dam. This dam was constructed during 1887 to 1895. It is located within the Periyar Tiger Reserve in Idukki district of Kerala. An Areca research center in Karnataka has declared Tirthahalli Areca nut as the best quality areca in the state. Areca nut is a tropical horticultural and commercial crop, its ideal temperature being 14 to 36 degrees Celsius. Scientists have developed a sheet of gold called goldine, which is just one atom thick. It is created by sandwiching silicon between titanium carbide layers, depositing gold, allowing gold atoms to replace silicon, forming monolayer. Recent research papers related to nitrogen fixation and nitroplast generated interest in the endosymbiotic theory. Endosymbiotic theory posits that some eukaryotic cell organelles such as mitochondria and plastid evolved from free-living prokaryotes. Eta Aquarid meteor shower peaks during early May each year. Meteors are space rocks that enter Earth's atmosphere, burning and causing stake of light. Eta Aquarid meteor shower occurs when the Earth passes through orbital plane of Halley's Comet, which takes about 76 years to orbit the Sun. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Knowledge. We appreciate your company. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solution to today's quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.